we continue to smash every other ecosystem in terms of app revenue earned over a 24-hour, 7-day, or even 30-day time frame.
This is Soul Brothers with Simon and Eno, where it is our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to take you on the latest and greatest so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, I'm high.
That's a great way to start. That's a great way to start a podcast, bro. Maybe I told you earlier already. Maybe this is our secret now. Maybe this is how we're gonna have a groundbreaking format here together at Soul Brothers with Eno on medications because he fucked up his back. It is. Luckily, you're smiling and you're taking it positively. It does suck a lot, so I don't envy you right now. But you're doing okay, You all right?
Yeah,
You good?
I'm doing fine. I loved that somehow people online are blaming you for my poor form.
I know.
Isn't that hilarious? They're like, how can you be doing a podcast with the most jacked man on Solana and still fuck up your back? I'm like, bro, Simon's not in the gym with me, man.
We're not on a call 24/7. That's really great. But I mean, they do have a point as well. I should have warned you maybe earlier that if your back has some, because you've been feeling some pain since a while. But anyway, we hope you're gonna get back, and we appreciate you being with us here to talk about Solana news and the latest and greatest that happened on the Solana blockchain. And there's a few things we want to talk about. There's something regarding the infrastructure on Solana, or a little bit more about it's a win. It's a win for the ecosystem for Solana infrastructure, and also compared to some other chains, we have good metrics that we're going to look at today. Also, we have some metrics regarding trading activities and RWAs and memes and so on. So just like a bunch of updates that we can run by people when it comes to the Solana chain here. Also, we have some really cool new things coming out of the Solflare ecosystem that we can talk about here. And obviously, as well, we have some positive news from the SNS eco and some product updates from our friends from Flash that we can dive into. And other than that, so far this week has been not too loud on Twitter when it comes to Solana launches and so on. Isn't that right,
Yeah, that's correct. This was a little bit more of a quiet weekend. I'd also like to give 10 points to Gryffindor because Simon totally just winged that summary of the entire podcast because I forgot to type down the fucking notes. I apologize for that. That's my first time returning to show notes. As you can tell, I am still loopty-doopty on the pills. But the very first thing that we want to cover is that Solana has recorded 662 consecutive days without a network outage since February 6, 2024. I actually remember that day very, very vividly because I was at my second ever Solana Hacker House and we had just launched our stablecoin after FTX. And I just thought to myself, did we just make a horrible mistake? Like literally the day that we launch our stablecoin, the fucking network goes down. Are you kidding me with this shit?
Was it literally the day? Was it the day of launch?
It was during the Hacker House. Yeah, it was literally during the Hacker House, and we were all just like, "Oh, come on, guys! We're already down. You don't have to kick us in the nuts." But it has been 662 days since the last network outage. My understanding at that time is that they had a package that they had included in the upgrade that they didn't realize would affect how vote transactions would be processed. That's my very vague recollection. So they had to roll back that package, and then things were back to business as usual. But fortunately, since February 6, 2024, we have not had another outage. So that's great.
It is very positive for the eco because actually it used to be, if you're new to Solana, then you actually don't know this, but it used to be kind of a thing, unfortunately, for the Solana blockchain to go down once in a while. And people were always saying, like the Solana maxis, like us, they were always saying, yeah, it's beta, we're not ready yet. The chain is not, we're not fully, give us a break. But then obviously we had a lot of people also say, yeah, you can't go down, guys. You have one job, which is uptime really, and secure transactions. So it has been difficult, and I think we're over the hill. I think it might be fair to say. I don't want to. I mean, I'm knocking on wood here.
Yeah, I'm knock on wood here.
but yeah, thanks. But I don't know if this is possible. But I think we could be over the hill when it comes to going down at this network. It seems to be we're resilient enough to keep running, which is kind of necessary if we want to replace things like the Nasdaq in the world.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
better stay at it.
it's catastrophic for DeFi when you're down for a few hours, because when you come back, I mean, everything's tanking. If you had a long, sayonara, because that long is dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You want to be you want to be available as a data layer, really, that settles transactions and financial services, right? So, yep. But okay, that's good news for now.
Yeah. And of course, Solana continues its dominance with weekly active users. I think that this tweet is a little disingenuous. It says Solana surpassed Ethereum in weekly active users. It's clear that this has been the case for a very long time, right? This isn't like something that just happened this week. Solana has about 11.1 million active wallets versus Ethereum's 2.6 million active wallets. I don't. What do you make of this stat? It's not really something to dance about, because I mean, the way that Solana wallets are used just feels very different to how Ethereum wallets are used. But I mean, like, don't get me wrong,
Oh,
there are more
yeah.
active users, but
Mm.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it's just like the chain also has a lot of it does have a lot of algorithmic activity. So something to keep in mind, that like every good financial system, like our traditional financial system, there's a lot of algorithmic trading and so on going on. People used to call it bots, but it's just machines navigating markets, really, which is okay, right? But we do have them on Solana, and there's no way to really distinguish reliably without being something like world chain, right, where everyone is literally biometrically scanned and identified as a human. Then you can have like really strong metrics that say, okay, all our users are actually humans, right? But if you don't really care about that, which you shouldn't if you're Solana, in my opinion, you just want activity, algorithmic, human, whatever it is, agentic, then you can see numbers like that when it comes to active wallets. So yeah, totally feasible and positive for the eco, because we are known to be the ecosystem with the most economic activity on chain, and that's one of the reasons, because we have so many people or algos.
Man, you took the words right out of my mouth, because that is the exact next topic that we're going to cover. We continue
Here we
to
go.
smash every other ecosystem in terms of app revenue earned over a 24 hours, 7-day, or even 30-day time frame. So in the last 24 hours, Solana has earned the applications or protocols built on top of it $4.2
Yeah.
million in revenue. And just
Mm.
in terms of DEX volume, we also smash all the other ecosystems with close to $3 billion in trading. I just want to
Yep.
say, man, like I feel like Solana, I got a little nervous with Hyperliquid, because for a while Hyperliquid was really eating our lunch. But
Yep.
now that meme coin trading has significantly reduced, it almost kind of feels like Solana is back to its position as the top chain for real economic value. I mean, like, how do you feel as a builder building in this ecosystem, opportunities to earn revenue here? I mean, you've talked about this quite a bit, your transition from Ethereum to Solana.
Yeah, I mean, it is easier to make money on Solana. It's a fact, right? You can quote me on that. But I also believe that BM's correct in the comments right now regarding normal users. He feels not much growth after the Trump madness, the start of this year. So just like net new users, net new humans navigating Solana, doing stuff on chain, I think is something that definitely didn't explosively increase this year. We can't really prove that. It's really difficult to assess this data wise, as you don't know what are bots, what are institutions, what are algos. But I do believe that from the news that we're covering since a year now, that it is quite a shift, because we're probably seeing more business and institutional interest this year than new net consumers coming in, which is an interesting development, I feel. So let's see where that leads to. I think it's could be a sign that we are getting closer to a tipping point of global adoption. Might be like the kind of the calm before the storm kind of scenario, where because if the big players are embracing this, I think the masses have to follow. And it's still funny to me that I sit at social gatherings, as I do once in a while, with normal people, and I tell them what I do, and then our crypto. Obviously, first thing is always I thought it's a scam. Then you explain them it's not a scam, and then it's always the question of, okay, so what do you do with it? Like, what is it? What do I what is it? And then you talk about all the use cases we have, stablecoins, DeFi, and yield opportunities, and so on. And they're like, oh, wow, this sounds significant. I'm like, yeah, bro, like we're literally revolutionizing kind of the financial system here under the radar.
Yeah.
And people still don't know. So yeah, job's not done yet. I think normies are still not fully embracing what we're doing here, but we're getting there, we're getting there.
Yeah. I do think that in 2025, though, as we approach, I mean, it's literally December 1st, right? So it's the last month of the
Yes.
year. It's a good time, I think, to because we will be taking a break a little bit towards the holiday season. So it's a good time to take stock of where Solana has won and where Solana has kind of ceded
Yeah.
ground to our competitors. Um,
Yeah.
One of them definitely is prediction markets, right? Polymarket and Kalshi continue to smash it.
Yes. Yeah.
And those are not
True.
native Solana projects. And
Yes.
also, to my extreme disappointment, we have not built a competitor that's worthy of the Hyperliquid ecosystem. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong,
Well,
we have
we're on
plenty
it.
of great perps trading platforms on Solana.
Like
This
flash trade.
includes Flash Trade, yes.
Can't miss
he,
any opportunity to show my friends from flash trade.
he said with a huge grin on his face.
Yeah,
But Flash
like flash trade.
Trade, Jupiter, Drift, these are all quality perps platforms. Obviously, we have favorites, but like we're hyper liquid one, and you could just tell by the amount of fucking money they're making.
Mm,
Is they listed new assets cross chain much faster
yeah,
and with deeper liquidity than anybody else, right? Like that's just where they
that's
won.
true. Yeah.
Um, and also their airdrop was a smashing success this year,
Mm,
which
yep.
also helps a
Yep.
lot with narrative. So, I mean,
A lot.
where do you think that there's room for improvement on Solana? Like, where do we need to
Mm.
be a little bit more competitive in?
I think we're doing okay. We're just taking a bit time because we're trying to do many things at once, I guess. So Hyperliquid did one thing very good, which is we're gonna do one thing, which is perpetual trading and do it better than anyone else. DYDX started it back in the day when perps were very new. That's also when Flashlight was born, by the way, when perps were still fairly nascent on chain. And then this was okay, but it didn't have the liquidity and the depth to really do big time leverage trading. And it was a bit too slow. It was like Ethereum mainnet even at the beginning. So I think, and then now Hyperliquid just had this niche and this one thing they want to solve, right? But Solana is obviously it is the base layer for all economic activity on top of it, and it stretches, right? It stretches from fucking wellness rings over gaming devices and on-chain games to yield-bearing stable coins and Camino, right? Like, so you have so many, we have so many things we want to do on this chain, that I think it just takes a little bit more time to sort out the, how do you say, to the weed from the spray weed
Wheat
thingy.
from
I
the
don't know. I don't
chaff.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one in English. Yeah, sorry, I'm not a native speaker here. But to do that, uh, it takes a bit of time, right? And then the winners are gonna stick out that actually perform well and are accepted by the market. But that takes experimentation and exploration, and that's where we're in. So,
Yeah. Yeah. By the
mhm.
way, I'm like really shocked sometimes by how many English idioms you know. Is it because there's like a direct German equivalent that you're just translating in your head, or is it just your time in Canada?
Yeah, I think it's my time in Canada where like full time. I was really bad at English back then, by the way. Like I literally I had to have a notebook in my pocket, like you do when you learn a new language, right? When you like
Yeah,
write
yeah,
down vocabulary and shit.
yeah.
And I was really scared, like going into personal training sessions, which was my job, because I had like 1 hour one on one with a person that speaks a foreign language.
Right.
And I had to explain something that is a bit technical, like,
Yeah.
if you ever worked with a personal trainer in a gym, you know that the language is different than having a beer with your buddy. So you have to learn like a few specific vocabulary words as a PT. So I was always a bit scared, but I think after that year, I felt pretty confident and had like some more native speaker-ish phrases. But do not try to translate German to English when it comes to idioms and stuff. Like, that doesn't work. Like, we have
Okay.
weird ass sayings.
So it's not like someone would finish a set and then you'd be like, so how you separate the wheat from the chaff? Is they
Wait, in German, you mean?
No, but sorry, I've totally moved this conversation away from Solana. I apologize.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chit Chat between the Soul Brothers. Do we have what else do you got, when it comes
Yeah,
to
of
Solana?
course. I think this is another great thing to reflect on this year, is to look at where is the trading volume. And so, like, obviously, the vast majority of it is going to be sold to stablecoin swaps, right? Because people are on this chain because they believe in the base asset or they want to participate in staking, and so therefore they're buying SOL. And one thing to note here that I think is super interesting is the meme bucket. So memes comprise now less than 5% of all volume on Solana, which is, I think, something that you and I wanted towards the beginning of this year, because it really felt like that all the narratives and all the activity on chain was, kind of concentrated around these shit coins that were a competition to see how funny the joke could last, right? And the news flash is that the joke doesn't stay funny for all that long. And so we're at an all-time low for meme coin trading as a percentage of all activity on Solana. Is there anything else here that sticks out to you? There are a couple of things that stick out to me that I'm pretty happy about.
Are we happy about 75% Sol and stablecoin, and then everything else is like below, like sub 10%? It
Well,
basically
I
means that
mean,
everyone is doing
it's all
just stablecoin.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's all proportional, and I will admit, like, obviously, we want to see a lot more trading for project tokens. Get solid, not financial advice, more of a statement. But that's actually something I'm loving to see, right? Which is that project token trading is higher than meme coin trading at this point, which
100%.
might signal that we're seeing a return back to fundamentals, because you can see in the bar chart for previous months that meme coin trading was much higher as a percentage of total activity on chain versus project token trading, right? In fact, we saw the death of many project tokens this year. But meme coin trading has finally seemed to die down a little
evil
bit.
laugh.
Yeah, well, because all their bags are suffering. Yeah.
It is true. What about the LST swaps? Sub 1%. I think this should be a bit higher, maybe, instead of
Well,
Sol stablecoin.
I kind of get it, because like once people buy an LST, there's very little incentive for them to hunt around unless they're really trying to optimize
It's not a
their
thing
holdings.
It's not a thing you trade, probably.
Yeah, not all that much. I mean, some folks do. What I'm really loving is the Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is starting to pick up on Solana. I would love to see this approach like 10-15% of all network activity. Hell, if we can get the Bitcoin maxis to start participating in Solana DeFi, that would be a huge boon. Billions of dollars in assets on Solana, and maybe a lot more in trading there as well. So that's actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
There's something missing though here, Simon. Do you know what's missing from here?
What is composite again? Composite assets? What is that? Is that
composite assets? Is that,
have to look it up.
I want to say it's like either index, probably not NFTs. Probably not NFTs.
Composite assets. It's just a single token that bundles together several different things at once.
Yeah, like an index. So it'd be kind of like ISC, my previous stablecoin, which was a collateralized basket of gold, treasury bonds, etc. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay. They also have like quite a 3.4%. What's a big composite token? Is it like does JLP and so on count to these as well?
Oh,
Probably.
that you are correct. Yeah, FLP.
FLP.
Yeah, these are all
Mm,
composite assets. When I think about it, there's actually quite a few trading. Some trading of
mm.
composite assets. I didn't realize that.
Also interesting. Yeah, a lot of interesting things that stick out of there. And I also would, if you're interested as well, I can also share something. But I think you have
Please
one
do.
more. I think you have one more. Let's finish the things we do have on our agenda, and if we have a little bit more time, we can go through some quick fire news as well here. What else do you
Yeah.
got?
Yeah, the last Solana update that I'd love to give is that we've reached an all-time low for memes, but an all-time high for RWA.
Hmm.
So what two numbers are we looking at? Well, number one, the number of RWA holders has increased 10% month on month to have
Mm-hmm.
hit over 105,000 accounts that are holding RWAs. And more importantly, the current asset value of the holdings of RWAs has crushed 800 million. So now we're at 827 million in asset value for RWAs on Solana. So that is all very, very exciting news. All-time low for memes and all-time high for RWA.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, that moves in the right direction, I think, when it comes to the
Yes.
market overall. Um, bullish on Sol. We remain bullish, and we also remain bullish on Solflare. There was a cool, nifty new update that they put out with a little new mini app. Isn't that right?
Yes, yes. So they have this Telegram mini app that they've launched. What I really like about it is that it allows you to participate in a whole variety of Solflare quests. You can play games to earn points, and
Hmm.
also they have a lot of raffles that will be held on, I believe, a monthly basis or every 2 weeks or so. You can amass tickets, and then you can use those tickets for airdrops, right? So some of that might be new product releases. Some of that might even be literal airdrops. There's a whole collection of different quests that you can do, retweeting, a tap game, et cetera, et cetera. I think they even have some Breakpoint exclusives that they're preparing, if I'm not mistaken.
Breakpoint exclusives. Hmm.
Yeah.
We shall see soon, I think. Also, just I think there was a good post from the founder from Vidor on this whole topic of the mini app, which was I can't. I already told him in the comments that I had similar thoughts about this product or this new release here, but he put it in better words. Again, I'm gonna butcher him, but he said something like, um, "The building a brand is not only about building a great solving one problem with your main product, which is basically hold assets, right? But it's also to kind of solve distribution and build things that people care about that retain users on your platform, which might be side quests, right? And this is definitely a side quest, like Solflare as a wallet, right? They're they have one job to do, which is help me to hold my assets safely in my wallet. But now they have a mini app on Telegram. Why would you do that? Because distribution is a product, and even the smallest daily surface can turn into a habit that keeps people using Solana. Um, Says Vidor from Solflare in a tweet here. Yeah, good point, actually. The kind of the reasons behind why launch a mini app on Telegram, more like a game.
Yeah. This is actually some really ancient YC, Y Combinator advice, I think from a Sam Altman article from a long time ago before OpenAI, or maybe even Paul Graham. But it's something that they talk about quite frequently. And so Vidor, it seems like, is a student of the game. And he's absolutely correct. No matter where your users are, you got to find them. And so for us, that's Twitter. That's why we're on Twitter so goddamn much. But there are other
Yeah.
communities that live on Reddit. They live
Mhm.
on Instagram. They live on TikTok. They live on YouTube. So you need to go to wherever your users are. Indians, for example, only use WhatsApp. I mean, like, obviously, Indians in crypto are using Telegram. But if you're talking about your average Indian citizen, they are all using WhatsApp. And so
Yeah.
a lot
Same in
of
Germany.
ser- right, so a lot of
Mm.
services that used to be built for like the web, like literal web, like the browser, those don't do so well. You literally have to change the way you think about your application. You're not building for, a web app, or a web page
Mm,
or even an app.
mm,
What you're building is a WhatsApp mini app, or in this case, a Telegram
mm.
mini app. Because that's where your people live. So that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it even goes as far as deciding to launch an app instead of a web app, meaning building for mobile, because people live on their iPhones, on their Android phones, right? So they're already there. So basically, you're just, and it's the same when it comes to Solana, right? Like if you actually zoom out here, users are on Solana. That's why we're here. But yeah,
Right.
cool. Bullish and Solflare as always. What else you got?
Yeah. So SNS has a very, very strong secondary market. It is a bit of a bear market, but even so, SNS continues to print money. And one of the ways they're doing that again is through secondary sales. There
Mm,
was a domain called ACE.soul, very, very clean, sexy name, by the way, that was bought for
mm.
12.69 Sol. It's like almost 2 grand for a single domain. So it just goes to show that no matter what market we're in, SNS is going to continue to print, whether it's primary sales or people just trying to get their grail.sol.
Yeah, I mean, I still want solbrothers.sol, and this will also require a secondary sale. So let's see if we can make that work at some point in time.
we we will make it
We should.
work.
Yeah, we should.
And,
We should. We should.
and speaking of yet another major update from a partner, we have Flash Trade, which has completely revamped
Cool.
home.flash.trade. So they have a new landing page. And fortunately, it seems like I think you were paying attention to this. They are not going to be changing their logo. So thank God for that,
Yeah.
to whatever that
Yeah.
monstrosity was. But yeah, they have like a very matrixy style,
Cool.
landing page that I'm really loving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 Also matches their app really well, right? If you go over, yeah, you see the green and everything, and yeah, it's pretty. I think you guys are doing a good job at Flash out there. Thanks for keep shipping, and a good website is what you need to get started. Also, looking at order right now, because you have it up. Damn, this went down a lot. We're looking at the Aura chart right now on Flash Trade here, and it went all the way from like $300 down to like now we're at 70.
no,
Um,
man, it was at 500.
it was at 500, and you sound like you bought.
Huh? No, no,
You
no,
sound
no.
like you
I
bought.
no, I did
Okay.
not. But it's at 600. Jeez, Louise.
Mm, mm.
All right.
So that's Aura. That was a quick little thing, and then also same with Zcash. Like Zcash as well was a big hype just 2 weeks ago, and it's always the same. I knew it's gonna happen. I think we're in a wave 4 right now. Like we're in a. It was due as well. I have it on my chart even. But the mindshare just goes away so quickly from these things.
Yeah.
That's yeah, and that's why like Zcash, I was never really super bullish on it. I don't think it's gonna stick around too much. But that's also because I'm very Solana focused, and Zcash is not a Solana product. It is tradable on Solana, that's cool, but I think we can do what they do as well with protocols like Umbra and the Arceum tech stack and so on.
Yeah. I am continually perplexed by why Mert pushes
Yeah.
Zcash. I don't mind. Like, it doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. It's just very interesting. That I mean, it could just be that he's bored. I mean, the man has been tweeting about Solana for like 5 years now, right? It just could be like, you know what? Let's see if I could run the same playbook, but with Zcash. It could just
I
be
mean,
that simple. A new
I still
challenge.
find it very interesting that it. I'm pretty sure it happened after he met with the Zcash founder over lunch or something.
Yeah.
So we don't know what has been discussed there, but there can be a lot of reasons why you start posting a coin, right? After a
He
lunch with the founder of that project.
he told Mert that he'd grow his hair back.
And he's like,
He's got
I gotta do this. Yeah. Yeah. I think he probably like my conspiracy theory is just that they've made some sort of like either the founder actually convinced him that Zcash is good and has a lot of future, and then he just sold him on the product. So Merch just started to become a KOL for it, and bought some. Or it was probably worse. He just got some. Zcash, like some tokens, or bought
I
some or
just
something.
don't agree. I just don't. I
Probably
mean,
not.
it's that.
Yeah.
I mean, Mert is not going to tank his entire reputation. I mean, the dude's already rich, okay?
Yeah.
But I could see that the Zcash founder was offering some sort of access or opportunity to something else, right? Like a
Yeah.
little bit of horse trading there. Because like a token for tweet deal feels like a little too direct. Like it
Yeah. No,
doesn't
no,
seem
that
like
was.
Mert. Yeah,
I
maybe
don't
not
think that
Mert's
was it.
style. No,
He
no.
he he is generally convinced about the privacy tech and everything. That is
Oh,
for
for sure.
sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Um,
definitely conspiracy. What I'm saying here, but to wrap it up, I have one more quick thing that I can share here because I want to give a big shout out to the Solana main account and intern right now because they do have pretty well written news posts that go out, and this one just went out, actually
oh wow.
on like half a day ago. 10 days to breakpoint. First of all, Solana's ecosystem is accelerating still. It is the 1st of December right now, and the past 7 days, a lot of stuff happened on Solana. And obviously, we can't talk about all of this here. We covered our important things in today's episode. But a few other highlights here, just so that you are in the know. We talked about the Monad launch already. Now, looking back, that was fairly successful. $200 million of volume, 700,000 trades on Solana, and 20,000 unique traders.
Wow.
Outpacing many exchanges, which was definitely insane. Also, Humidify, Solana's top prop automated market maker, which underlies under Jupiter and Titan and so on. So if you ask yourself, what is Titan doing? What is Jupiter doing? Well, they're routing your trades through prop AMMs like Humidify, which are very interesting protocols, a bit in the shadows, not too much out in the media realm. But this can change if a project like this launches a token. And Humidify has announced their TGE together with Jupiter Exchange. Actually, it's going to be the first token that's launched on their token formation platform, DFT. So yeah, big topic, but we're going to see what's coming out of this on Solana very soon. We talked about Unruggable this week as well in our podcast already. They have their native hardware wallet that's coming out soon. Solana devs announced the X402 hackathon. So big shout out to all the X402 tech and developers out there that are working on it. Like our friends from Corbit's Dev. We had them on the show as well. If you don't know what X402 is, you'll find it on our YouTube channel. There's a very interesting interview that breaks down what it actually is. And yeah, Titan's joining X-Stocks Alliance, more X-Stocks on Titan as well. We have a yield-bearing USD token from Ranger Finance that came out. What else is interesting here?
We have a new
DWF.
BTC. Yeah. We
Yeah.
have a new BTC variant, BTC Plus, launched by
BTC
our friends over at
Plus.
Solve Protocol.
Here we go. More BTC on Sol. I think Gianni also keeps bull posting Bitcoin on Solana. It's a big thesis right now. So we're definitely going to see more of that. And yeah, Aura mined $10 million revenue in the past 4 weeks. Pretty big.
Yeah.
So is it a good dip right now? Is it a good chance to buy in? We don't know. Might be. Also, shout out to Aura, Usman, our friend from Aura Gold, who now has 4,000 plus holders for their on-chain gold. Also very, very cool. Privacy Cash. Transfer sold privately, backed by Lions. Also a protocol I looked at a while ago, similar to Umbra and so on, but they've been around longer. They processed more than $100 million, across more than 20,000 users. People are using these privacy tools again a lot, and I'm curious what regulators think about that after all the Tornado Cash issues we had back in the past that led to really unfortunate events. This seems to work right now. Even Solana main account posts about it.
Let's just see whether or not Trump is going to run and win a third term, and then we'll know what's going to happen with privacy.
Yep. We're going to know what Trump is up to in the next episode, end of this week. But for now, I think, we should call it a day.
Yes, we should. I can see that the sun has risen over in your apartment. Yes. So thank you so much for doing this podcast so early. I know that you have a very long day today, and the meds are starting to wear off. My brain is a little less foggy. I probably should have done the podcast a little bit more sober.
Well, that's my fault. I mean, it went really well, guys. Let us know in the comments if you feel like you did a good job on staying rational and talking sense and not nonsense here. I think you did very well job here. It was always a pleasure to host this with you. Thank you guys for tuning in to Soul Brothers Pod. Make sure to follow our YouTube channel at Soul Brothers Pod, and make sure to also visit our sponsors, because Flash Trade, as you can see, are tinkering. They always have something new coming out. So flash.soulbrotherspod.com. It's easy to sign up. You just log in with your wallet and you're in, and you can start trading up to 500x directly with our friends from Flash. So quick shout out here to our partners there. With that being said, we will see you at the next one. I'll send you into the week. You have a good start of it. And stay safe out there. Peace out.
Adios, everybody.